The magic of the camera. It's called a magic trick. It's called a sink. You want to keep it dry. It's already got a couple chips in there. So I'm going to have to come in and put the stuff that cures on top of the counter. It's in the sink, but I could put the DAP in there, but it would just make it rough. I could do that. Let it smooth out and let it do that. I could ultimately do that. That would be a temporary fix. But ultimately, if you put the caulk in there, it may work. I might think about that, but that's not the moral of the story. I'm washing dishes. That's why I just cleaned that sink. So I used to wash my hands in this. Every time I washed my hands, I thought it was going to be cleaner. All the dirt attached to the bottom of that bucket. But there's still a little bit of dirt in there. That's why I cleaned it out. Because you want clean water, cold water. If you turn it on the hot side of it, burn electricity. It's expensive. Why would you do that? Even though the hot water heater runs. But the faucet itself, I had to glue it, stick it, and then kids come in, they start touching it. Now they have whatever they use as dye in their hair on top of the thing. It's just disgusting. I didn't do that. I would never do that. I'm the one who fixes it. That's why you put it under and then start filling it. But believe me, that's a lot of water. Well, you need a lot of water to wash dishes because you're going to have to rinse too. You just don't wash dishes and leave them with the soap on there. You have to rinse them and let them dry. Some people might think, well, why aren't you putting the dishwashing liquid in there now? You don't have to. You're wasting resources. Just like toilet paper. Just like that medicine cabinet. I know what's in there because I just use it. None of my medicine's in there. All the boys' stuff is on one shelf, girls' stuff on the other. I know what the good makeup is. You know, it says Michael CeraVe. You know, CeraVe. They put Michael in front of it. Yeah. That's how you turn it off. But that should have another energy saver, obviously. If you're in an apartment complex, that's the first thing I'd be installing. Now, you wonder why Kitty's up first. Water bucket. The dishes are too big. That's why I'm having so much fun. I stutter. Now, you might think about putting it there. Try and hang it. That's tough. Either way, the water goes in. But once you start splashing it around, the tub's going to get wet. But it has, see how it's dry? But I thought I dropped the water. You want to keep it clean, man. That's why I have all these like latches up here. People, do this for a reason. You have to make sure the tip is dry. Screw it back on. These things are valuable. It might not look like much. This very effective because you water by hand. Not these other idiots. They're out there spraying their hoses, sprinkling their lawns in the middle of disaster because they want nice lawns. I wouldn't do that. You're supposed to mow it. Why would you water your lawn? Wastewater. You know what wastewater is, right? Toilet. See, Kitty? You don't want to chip the sink. Even this could chip a sink. Speak of the devil, and there they are. But they're the ones I take all my cues from. You know, you learn from your neighbors, you know that, right? Even though they learn from me too. They watch me to see what I'm doing, obviously. I watch them to see what they're doing. Gardening, good for your body. So is cleaning. Even though everybody hates to clean. That's why I'm going to use one more tool. It's right there. Oh, I put it there for a reason. To get rid of this, it slides along like a conveyor belt. It's perfect because I'll put it right over the dishes. That way I don't have to bend down. This, of course, I'm going to use it because I'm going to even use it to wash or dry them. You know, you could use that to wipe off the excess thing. Why would I do that? I have something better. Not, well, this would work because this would work. This would work too, but you have to bend over. I have something right here, it's even better. The brush on the rope. See how it hangs right over it? But once you do it, you know, just like the plunger, you know, plunger, bleach, toilet paper, seat. Now, if you had a little baby, you'd be sitting there saying, who's going to wash the dishes? Who's going to flush the toilet? We'll be back for the next part of this video. Oh, I hear the birds out that window. They're just going nuts. Oh, I hate birds. Oh, believe me, they know when I'm out there. I can disrupt their singing. Oh, I hear them tweeting right out that window. Oh, they're loud as hell. You can hear them through the door. They're that loud. You can probably hear them on the roof. That's why birds sit on the roof. You know that, right? Sitting here one day over that thing, I'm like, oh, come on. You gotta be kidding me. The birds are on me this time? No, the squirrel was attached to the screen. You know, squirrels can climb walls, right? I was telling my one friend one day, this was years ago, when I was in an apartment, sitting there because I could just sit there on my porch, no problem. Kids running around and, you know, kicking me out. But the kids were even worse. I hated them because they knew I was standing there. Because I had the third floor above them. I was on the top floor. Sitting there one day, you know, deer will go up to the edge of the fence. All of a sudden, I'm used to the squirrels, right? Regular gray squirrels from wherever it is. All of a sudden, a black squirrel comes by. Tell my friends, there's no such thing as a black squirrel. Then I'm sitting there watching. Two squirrels about, I don't know, 50 yards apart. Their little third squirrel got cornered in the wilderness, right? Right in a highway, but the highway was right there. You could hear it constantly, depending on the leaves. All of a sudden, this huge white bird comes down and had the squirrel pinpointed automatically. And it goes right for it. You could hear it like eating it. The two other squirrels were squealing as loud as they could. That's Mother Nature for you. You don't think the EI channel is on 9 o'clock on Saturday morning? That's why I don't have a watch, but it says Fender on it, right? Fender 2024. How many little cars or rubber baby bubbly bumpers would you put in there? You know, like the toys with them. This house, we have tons of that stuff. You know how to do it, right? You put it over it. You start with the kids' stuff first, which is the sippy cup thing. It's good, but they're impossible to clean. deli, if I had a dish grabber, I could just lift it up. Why don't I use gloves? Defeats the purpose, and I get my gloves wet. I worked in the deli giant. We didn't do it like this. No. But we had brooms. Oh, yeah. Greased chicken. Right. You know, one of those rotisserie chicken things? You know, it was a privilege to work in the deli, right? Because they started me off in the fish department first, which is worse. Dude comes in one day on a Sunday when it's the worst time, early morning, and you just open up the fish counter, half salmon. I mean, literally half of the counter was salmon. The other was, you know, rest of seafood stuff. In-season fish, they call it. Dude walks up and says, okay. Oh, I can see the croakers are on sale. They're only like 69 cents a pound. I'll have 3 pounds of them. I'm like, huh? I've started going, oh no, I gotta shave the croakers. Right? So then I'm sitting there scaling the fish. You have to wear special gloves because with trap, it's just nasty in the fish department. I'm sitting there scraping it, scaling it, because they had to teach you how to scale and fillet and stuff, because he knew, the guy who ran it. He wasn't strict, he was smart. He was semi-strict, but he was, eventually he ended up leaving, and then I moved on. But he basically had to scale croakers. They're like these little small fish with really pointy things, and when they jab you, that's, if you're working fish, you're lucky, man. That's why the butchers wear those big long coats, because right next to the fish is usually the meat department, and then the bathroom, and then the rest of it. I was sitting there one day when I'm like, oh, no. I got to work the meat counter. So now they're letting me into the thing, because you have to wear a certain garb or costume, whatever they call it, uniform. I walk in, dude's like, oh, no, you're working the meat counter today. I'm like, what? Why would you do that? He goes, somebody's got to do it. You're here. You know, when people call in sick, you get overtime. Anyway, she's telling, and the lady comes up to me and says, dude, do not touch that blade. You'll cut your arm off. I was like, no kidding. I can see how sharp it is. You know, what a butcher knife is, right? They actually take hooks of beef. That's how they make money in a grocery store. You know that, right? Most people wouldn't know that with the custom fit steaks, filet mignon, they come out big like steel. And they have them on the racks, which you would expect, but somebody has to like move it. It's not. He's telling me, oh, no, I'm just cutting here. He's getting like blood all over him, like, because I had to wear a white coat too every day. He's telling me, no, you're on the counter. I'm going to lunch or whatever. Sure enough, I had to work it, and then eventually made it to deli. It was a big jump up. Because right next to the deli is the cake department. They were smart. One lady was so nice, and he's like, oh, no, what do you want? We can make you a cookie or something. I'm like, I don't want that. Too fat. Then I'm on the cheese slicer one day. Slicing cheese. Lady behind me says, could I have that extra thin? I'm like, oh, sure. I just have to turn the blade down. Some people like it thick, thin. That's why when you see the deli counter, they had it on an automated slicer. We used to just put it on the slicer and let it go to accumulate it. That's how they have those pre-packed bags of like turkey, roast beef, all of it. Pastrami was particularly dangerous because every time everybody asked for salami, you had to clean it. Same with the Munster cheese. There was a separate slicer for just cheese, and even if you had Munster cheese, you had to have a way of cleaning the actual blade. The dude I was working with, he had already mastered, so he showed me what to do, and I mastered it, and I didn't have a chance to show anybody else because I got another job. Basically, you put another knife onto the blade and keep it spinning. Fragments of cheese flying everywhere. But you have to wear gloves, right? And even in there, their gloves were so few and far between. They buy the wrong gloves, small gloves, large gloves. People can't get the gloves on. One day I'm sitting there without the gloves. She's like, "Oh, come on, can you put gloves on?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry," because I was trying to be economical because we were running out of gloves. She's like, "Come on, put on gloves." I told you, general inspection is usually 9:30 on Saturday. I know I started this early. Check my other videos, what I put down yesterday. I was a little afraid because I cursed during some of them. So I put them as unlisted. The rest of them are okay. Even though I did a little bit of cursing with the Frenzy at 5, where I was watching Judge Genie, Tarlov, Waters, some other fill-in on the 5, and the big Tyrese dude who's sitting in Gutfeld shirt, whatever they sit on, with the tattoos. We'll be back to clean that later. Why would you do that? I just cleaned it. That's why it's still dripping wet right over the bowl. A little bit of water in the sink doesn't hurt. Why would you wash your hands? Girls want this white buckets. You want a bucket of water, right? Let's do the ice cube challenge. I could make it funny and put it on my head and use it as a comic tool. Why would I do that? It's a kid's toy.